Guys, I'm just wondering what this could be. Seriously, craziest natural phenomena ever recorded on camera. First of all, I'm wondering how that person was able to record it in the first place if it's that crazy. Anyway, this should be fun. Guys, like the videos to get this video out to more people. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I really appreciate it. Let's get right into it.
This Earth is filled with wonderful and bizarre occurrences that we're often left unable to explain.
That is a wildfire.
With so many of these events being very...
Wildfires are kind of common. I mean, right now, you had wildfires in, is it Maui? How do they pronounce it? Maui. Yeah, in Hawaii. Yeah, so there's a wildfire there current that happened. So I think wildfires are not really that rare.
Very rare. We are often left without any ability to experience these natural events. From the starling flocks phenomena to Pele's hair, here are 15 craziest natural phenomena recorded on camera. Number 15. Starling flocks phenomena. On its own, a starling doesn't cause a lot of problems. It's a bird the size of a tennis ball.
Okay, that is a bird. I don't know. I don't even know that kind of bird. Starling.
With feathers that have a dark, velvety hue. In any case, the starling creates stunning designs in an unusually marvelous fashion, as starlings gather in flocks numbering into the hundreds of thousands over open fields to produce an effect that makes it look like art from another dimension. Converging around each other, guided by the wind and instinct, the dark forms in flight are an expression of reality that appears to be inspired by an attraction to entropy. The question that doesn't have an obvious answer is why. The aerial patterns of birds are constantly moving, giving each bird an ideal view of their surroundings. Birds, including starlings themselves, frequently group into large flocks to defend themselves from birds of prey. The more numbers in a flock, the less likely each bird would be caught by wild predators. Yet starling flocks also fly in such formations when there are no predators near them. That doesn't explain the full story and leaves many questions.
Wow.
Do you know why the starling flock phenomena occurs? 13. Pele's hair. Sometimes life is a bit too hot to handle, yet when things cool down
Pele's hair.
And you start getting a grip on things, what's left can be quite wonderful to behold. This leads us to the term Pele's hair, which is essentially a form of fiber that is cooled down to a kind of molten glass that forms out of the lava, and because of the speed at which the lava lengthens. It's kind of like canned spaghetti, except thinner, with less sauce and a little firmer. Because of this, the lava cools in small, thin threads.
Skil af sér, kannski þetta eitt af furðulegasta.
Pele's hair fibers can be several meters long and just a fraction of a millimeter in diameter. These light fibers are then transported away by the breeze. They can be taken away a few kilometers from the vents. Where the wind blows, the Pele's hair will follow. Will you be there to catch it? The next time you think of heating up your spaghetti in a microwave, take a moment to contemplate the memory of Pele's hair. When it's finished blowing in the wind, may it rest in peace. Or pieces. Number 13. Eternal Flame Falls. There's a little waterfall called the Everlasting Flame Falls. Whether the falls will be everlasting or not is a questionable statement. It sounds like a meditative space with sacred meaning. The Eternal Flame Falls Valley is an iconic and unusual waterfall that is potentially quite a dangerous environment.
What?
The waterfall is named because of a simple phenomenon, a natural gas spill right below the waterfall which just happens to ignite. The flame is not necessarily eternal in the way that it often goes out. It's also relit by passengers because while the gas is natural, the flames being ignited are affected by the passers-by.
Wow.
The falls emit natural gas which has the smell of rotten eggs. Truly a wonderful aroma that sets the tone. The gases produced during
Rotten
the
eggs.
decomposition of the organics within the rock deposits are under pressure and push out through cracks and loose layers within the rock. It's unbelievable that the pressure of the gas outlet over time doesn't cause the rock to burst, a place where water and fire meet. Isn't it fascinating that something like this is even possible? Number 12.
Wow.
Desert Rose Selenite. Meaning and properties. Gypsum Rose. Imagine a rose as a gift given to someone special made completely out of sand. That's the desert rose selenite, shaped by water, wind, and sand that develops over a few hundred years. The wind will continuously blow on the selenite that embeds the sand in the blades. With time, the water tends to create a rose-like shape. Some cultures say that the desert rose invokes the properties of mental insight, energy cleansing, and inner reality. Desert rose helps to rid the mind of old thought processes and opening up the flow of guidance from your intuition.
Yes, sir.
It would be interesting to know what a chemist would say about the organic structure of the desert rose and how it affects humans. My guess, if something like this makes a difference, it has something to do with electrons and positive and negative electric charges. Regardless of the thoughts behind how a desert rose came to be and what it does for the mind and body, there's no denying that it is a beautiful natural art. An incredible thing to be able to see with our own eyes and a testament to the beauty in life. Number 11. Bioluminescent waves. Illuminating the night, the bioluminescent wonder is absolutely stunning in its beauty.
Wow,
The ocean
look
can
at this.
shine like the stars in the sky thanks to a natural chemical process known as bioluminescence, which allows living things to
Damn.
produce light in their bodies. With the generation and release of light from a living organism, it's
What?
kind of an organic cocktail with the combination of colors creating an illuminating and brilliant result.
How does this happen?
The bioluminescent sea will glow when disturbed by a wave breaking or a splash in the water at night. I reckon out of all the incredible and unique things related to
Where
the
is this
ocean,
place?
visually, this is definitely at the top for the human eye. Marine creatures,
Where
either
is this?
to confuse predators with disarray or to attract prey with illusion or even to attract potential mates with this inviting phenomenon. Using the manipulation of light to survive in the wilderness. Isn't it incredible how natural creatures even utilize organic light manipulation processes to survive? Could you imagine a gigantic glowing wave rising above the sky with marine creatures swimming and lighting up the night? How incredibly poetic. Number 10. Penitente's spiky snow formation in the Andes. Some of the coolest things in the world are not usually experienced by the human eye. Interestingly, the phenomenon called penitentes is formed at very high altitude glaciers, where the air is dry and the blanket of protection that covers the ground level from the ruthless heat of the sun, snow will develop into impressive thin ice blades up in the freezing cold icy mountaintops, growing up to a few meters tall.
The giant penitentes. Amazing, amazing view.
A pretty cool natural
Damn.
event, wouldn't you say? One could even say that it's sort of like a forest in the mountains with huge
Yeah.
frozen water trees, kind of like an elegant crystallized pine tree. Ugh, all this ice talk freezes the socks off. They take the form of tall, thin blades of frozen snow or ice, closely spaced with blades pointed towards the general direction.
I would like to go to all these places, but I'm not sure I will have the balls to go. Like, I have dreams of traveling around the world and seeing the world and all that, but going to places like this, is it not dangerous? Is it not almost like climbing the Mount Everest? I'm not sure I'll be able to do this once.
Direction of light. These pinnacles of snow or ice are rising at incredibly high altitudes in the glacial and snow-covered regions. Blue hues on a golden sunset, the tops of the mountains like a spear striking fiercely into the sky. When night falls on this icy, spiky battlefield, the conflict rages between the elements. Number 9. Fire Whirls. There aren't many things as relaxing as staring into a fire on a nice, cool evening.
This looks like a
contemplating
wildfire,
life.
though.
However, another fascinating option for the
What?
fire lovers out there are fireworks.
Fire lovers. Who are
They
fire
present a
lovers?
strong intensification of combustion, usually during large urban and wildfires.
Damn. What?
However,
actually
they
go
are
and watch
obscured
this?
with many features. A mixture of wind and fuel to produce something like a sandstorm.
No
but
way
with
I'm going near
fire
this
and
place.
Smoke. A scorching heat that looks pretty awesome, but is vicious. They are not understood well, with most understanding coming from a laboratory as they're very dangerous to approach, due to the high strength and force and temperature of the flames. Also, the destructive powers of the momentum that acts like a wind funnel. The best guess at understanding this epic reaction is really a combination of just about everything you would expect. Between heat and wind, geometry, and gravity. The natural reaction of high winds and a large fuel source pushing the flames to desolate the surrounding area. The end product is still a mysterious whirlwind that carries with it the fury of nature's wrath. With aesthetics that make the jaw drop because it's not something you see every day, perhaps even in an entire lifetime. Number 8. Snow rollers. It looks like snow rolls itself into big, donut-shaped snowballs. But instead of going to a bakery, you're going to a frozen field of icy fascination. This elegant natural art showcases a wonderful display. As if not from this planet, the grace and sophistication of the mesmerizing funnel, the swelling mix of ice and snow,
What
which
the
spirals in such an organized manner. It's a phenomenon that exists only in optimal circumstances. Kind of like frying an egg. If you leave it too long, it'll burn, but if you turn it at the right time, it'll have the right texture, and if you don't heat it for long enough, it just won't harden. The perfect conditions for a snow roller to be able to shape requires a light snow dust that's moist enough to stick to the ground, but loose enough so it doesn't adhere. Wind speeds must be high enough to force the snow down the ice so that it coils up into a signature snow roller style. Looking like a wave breaking overhead about to trap the unconscious surfer frozen. The shape is really something exquisite that nature has been able to produce. It's a wonder that there aren't any ice creams designed with this in mind. Number 7. Morocco's tree climbing goats. Why is it that if you see something unusual going on, it's usually a goat in the center of the thick of it? This is what seems to be going on here, as the goat climbed up to get a bird's eye view of the nearby landscape. I can't tell you why it seems to have captivated the attention of the surrounding audience. In a place called Marrakesh on the heated, dusty roads, a type of tree called the argan pepper exists. It's rust-colored, eschewing a landscape that harbors many unusual things, including the strangest tree-climbing mammals, not letting any hooves
That's
get in the
crazy.
way. Argan trees grow
I didn't know that goats could climb. Seriously, I had no idea goats could climb. Maybe this particular breed of goats can climb, but the ones that are in my country can't climb for shit.
a fruit that is reminiscent of a crushed olive. It ripens around June every year. The crafty, ingenious goats, hungry for the bitter taste and scent, will climb the argan tree at a chance for them. They have gnarled, thorny branches, and although they may not be pretty, they draw a lot of attention from fans, including herds of starving goats that are in their crooked roots, often more than a dozen in a single tree. Number 6. Dust Storm. During high gale winds, the wind's vicious energy moves over loosely hitting particles with enough force to counter the gravity keeping them down. This increases the sand particles' movements. They tend to vibrate at first, then later travel over the surface. With a loosening roar and rocking force, they repeatedly touch the ground, loosening up and breaking down all the tiny dust particles.
Damn, look at that. That looks scary. That
which
looks
then
absolutely
continue
scary.
to travel in suspension. At wind rates above what allows the smallest to be suspended, there would be a population of dust
Look at
trains
that.
going. Sand and dust storms
Imagine
typically
driving
arise
into
as
that
strong
place. God
winds with a
forbid.
building momentum, lifting vast quantities of sand and dust from bare, dry surfaces to the atmosphere that would otherwise be stagnant. Over the past decade,
Look at
awareness
this.
is rising at the effects
Look
that
at this.
humanity has had on the quantity and impact that we have on causing these destructive events to occur. There's only so much you can do to combat the raw power of one of the Earth's natural elemental monsters, the dust storm. What would you do if you were stuck in the middle of a dust storm? Number 5.
You can't even see anything.
Blue holes. Many hypotheses have emerged throughout the years on the nature and purpose of these deep, dark blue holes. The mystery is almost as awesome as the outcome. The explanation for this is that they are very difficult to quantify and measure using current ordinary intellectual resources. An interesting point, the debate is out whether they should be a protected area since they have allowed marine life to flourish. Being sheltered away from the open ocean, they foster a huge array of organic, habitual sea life. One of the coolest things about them, aside from the rich and flourishing abundance of life, is that when you look directly down on a blue hole, there is a color discrepancy between the rest of the ocean and the circular blue hole which leads deep into the sea floor. Can you imagine what it would be like to be that deep underwater in a swimsuit? The pressure would be crushing, you wouldn't be able to see anything, and everything would want to eat you. No thanks, I'm good. Perhaps let the sea be the sea, and I'll be focusing on seeing things with my own 2 eyes on dry land. What do you think? Are you game for a dive in a deep blue hole? Number 4. Bioluminescent Forest. Mysterious things always seem to happen at night while we are asleep. Unlike the horrors that we hear of in other scenarios, however, this wonderful and resonating environment comes to life. The jungles of the Maharashtra Bhimshankar Wildlife Reserve are approximately 100 kilometers east of Mumbai. When every step leaves you with another dose of anxiety, all those insects can sense your fear, and the big predators lay in wait, hoping to snatch you up and digest you. Why would anybody enter this fearsome jungle? The monsoon season allows the leeches, the slippery slopes, and the rain to thrive. It's the best time of year for the bioluminescent forest to come to life. Incessant downpour brought the bleak and rugged terrain to life in a bright hue of green. New grass coated almost every inch of the typically dark scenery. And yet, in the midst of this hidden vast conclave is a secret. When the night comes along, the lights turn on, and the beauty of this mysterious and incredible jungle comes to life with vivid and stunning echoing acoustics. Would you take on the wonder of a forest that is alive with color akin to a paradise hidden in the depths if it included potential health risks that could paralyze you or worse? Number 3. Taos Hum. In the dry, dusty, quiet town of Taos, a relaxed arts community located in the north-central region of New Mexico, is apparently an odd mystery, a resident hum of uncertain origin, the so-called Taos Hum. Critics of this claim will say that humans live in a continuous sea of background noise, so it's not really a surprise that there would be frequencies that the human ear would find uncomfortable in a certain area. Also, low frequencies travel further, so it would be expected that some sensitive ears would be able to hear a faint low frequency note. Secondly, there are hundreds of possible sources of noise, including traffic, ships, aircraft, insects, massive machinery, wind, freight trains, mines, and other industries.
It's that sort of a sound.
Superstitious protagonists would argue that although many people can believe that it should be easy to find the source of the sound, it may be very difficult in reality. A really vast combination of ideas has been offered as the reason, ranging from the mundane to the fantastic, the disjointed, psychological, to the creepy paranormal. Every story you can imagine under the sun has been thought up to as to why these people claim to experience these noises. Number 2. Mammatus
Mamados.
clouds.
Mamatus.
The name Mammatus is quite fascinating. Could be worth looking up the origin of the name. The brilliance of this bizarre pattern is not something that the average human can comprehend entirely. Mammatus clouds are clouds that form a very strange pattern, quite like bubble wrap. Depending on the color of the backdrop, the view will change in appearance, and often is very stunning. Although it can seem quite frightening in the right conditions, as if the sky is falling on your head.
That looks, it looks beautiful and scary at the same time.
Air. Protruding from an overhanging wave of clouds, they usually come with a thunderstorm as company.
Damn.
Being cold, most of these clouds are made of ice. Consider wearing a hard helmet just in case. Each Mammatus cloud has the ability to last for up to 10 to 15 minutes and can reach very long lengths. People equate them with extreme weather. They're interesting in part because they are created by sinking weather. Although there's a large amount of unnecessary superstition attached to them, Mammatus clouds can look ominous and foreboding, so it's easy to see why people get worked up about them.
It looks scary.
In a way that's so normal in nature, their dangerous presence goes hand in hand with majestic elegance.
Let's
Number
see.
1. Monarch butterfly
Whoa.
migration. The beautiful
That
and
would be very
radiant
beautiful
monarch,
to see.
reflecting the warmth of the sun and the beauty of reality. These mythical, vivid, and true wonders of nature illuminate the setting in which they find themselves. After an upbringing, the monarch is finally ready to spread its wings and fly on a journey to a distant land which is up to 2,000 miles away.
Can to fly a great distance is a mystery.
The only butterfly known to do a two-way type of migration similar to the migration of long-distance traveling birds. Unable to survive freezing temperatures like other butterflies, the monarch butterflies have the ability to sense that the air is getting too cold for them through environmental sensory hints, and so they
Man, nature
prepare
is
for their
incredible.
long voyage of safety and security. The great risk is that they are very sensitive to the temperature, and so any sharp change can cause them to literally die. They are very fragile and wonderful insects for the human being to experience. Have you ever seen the monarch butterfly migration in your life? Was it
I would like to see
incredible
it.
to witness?
Wow. Some of these natural phenomena are not that scary. I mean, some of them just look, some of them are beautiful, some of them are just there. I mean, I was expecting to see some more scary things. I actually stumbled on one scary video that I saw. It was it the moon getting very close to the earth, something like that, or looking like it was very close to the earth. I'm going to put it up on the screen right now for you guys to check it, for you guys to see it. But that is crazy. I thought that it would be things like that I will see, but it's all good. It's all good. This was very fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button if you did enjoy the video, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I really appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.